Hey everyone, welcome back to Isyour6covered. Today we're going to have a little bit of fun, but this video is in response to an old video I put out about how to bury your firearms. And a lot of people have been looking into this, and it's been getting a lot of more people talking about it, which is funny. And we'll get into some of the comments, and I don't think the people are understanding what the purpose of the video was and the reasons why you'd want to bury some stuff. So this should be pretty good. Let me get this thing flipped over here, and then we'll do a little fun and get to talking, show off some pistols, some old pistols, and some new pistols. And old Mr. X-Ring sending me some videos, and man, hopefully someday he tells that story because wow, it's crazy. So Papa's Place, Daniel got as my judge, Big Racer, thanks for showing up. I know it's just going live right now, a little bit of a delay as we always expect. But so the video, and I should probably get this up because it is it's an old video. It has like 20,000 views, but it talks about ways to bury your firearms. Bury your guns before they grab them. And after the video, I'll put the link into it. It's got 23,000 views, 356 thumbs up, and 29 thumbs down. But a lot of the comments are about people saying, well, I'll read one off. Burying your guns is stupid. Use them to stand up and defend yourself with some honor. Stand and defend. Burying your guns means you are not willing to fight to keep your rights. Happy the 3% didn't buy guns or bury guns, or we would still be in the British control. And depending on how you saw the video, it was more or less when you have a lot of firearms. If you collected over the years, now if you only have a couple pistols and a couple rifles, I'm not saying to go out and bury those. I'm saying get some more. But what I'm saying is if you have a bunch that are basically sitting in the safe, you haven't shot them in over 5 or 6 years, then why not have a backup plan? A backup plan is good, right? We talk about fire extinguishers, smoke alarms, and so on, and just having an idea of something that may occur. But we got a lot more people out there, so I'll give a little more. Brian J, Land Run 89, Loads of Bacon, Stan Holch, and it's just an option. We talked about basically ways to use, I don't have any right here, but basically your military GI cans, different sizes they come in, obviously, depending on what you want to do, rubber coating them a little bit. And we talked about burying them. And it doesn't have to be for firearms. It can be for whatever. It can be for MREs. It can be for, additional ammo, whatever the case is. So a scenario could be this. You leave your home, you guys are on vacation. If you have a family, you guys go on vacation. And all of a sudden, the world turned into chaos. And I'm not saying that it's going to. I mean, it's not looking good right now, but anything can happen. So somehow you make it back. You make it back to your home. You notice that it's been ransacked, ran through. Maybe everything's gone. Maybe it's gutted. Maybe it's burnt down. Maybe you just left the stove on when you left for vacation, whatever the case is, but it's no longer there. Your safe is basically burned up, so on and so forth, and you don't have anything but what you have with you. Now, a lot of people, depending on where you're going to go, maybe you're in a free state, maybe you're living in a state where you can't carry firearms, or maybe where you were going was one of those states, so you opted of not bringing anything to stay legal. And staying legal is definitely the option that, you don't want to go to jail for something stupid. But you come back, and let's just kind of get into the worst case scenario, SHTF-y kind of stuff. All of a sudden you show up, and you have you've made it through this checkpoint or whatever the case is, and you've made it to an area where you're close to home. And you finally get home, and you notice that it's either been ransacked, burned down, whatever the case is, or maybe there's a group of individuals that are basically using your house as their their bug out or bug in location, right? So they've already taken, you know, any supplies that you would normally have, like in my garage, you know, I got loading supplies and stuff like that. So that's out of the question, right? Any ammo that I have stored already that are in boxes, that's all gone. Can't use that. So having something on hand that's that only you know where it is definitely a plus. And I'm not saying go out and bury all your guns and all that stuff. And, you know, definitely there's always a lot of war on the Second Amendment and people wanting to take your guns and so on. And that's something that we have to work through. That's something you have to fight through. And, you know, you hear people talking about cold dead hands, right? And I agree with a lot of that. I don't think that they should be able to do that. You know, our Second Amendment guarantees us the right to protect ourselves and our family from a tyrannical, you know, government, but not to get too political, but all of a sudden that happens. Having an option is definitely a good thing, you know, and this can be for anything. This doesn't have to be for firearms. So that's kind of the reason for the video. Is a lot of people, they're either thinking about burying their weapons, or they've, you know, they've just been getting on and looking through. But the comments have been pretty busy. So there's been a lot of people either looking to bury their firearms or looking for ways to bury something. But in that video, I talked about how to deter people with metal detectors. So let's just get silly and say, that the government's come and they're basically looking for whatever you have buried, right? So first off, do you want to bury it around the house, right? Maybe you have another piece of property somewhere, you know, that's just barren land. That may be an option as well. But let's just go with the case of it's at your home or around your home or near your home. Living on acreage definitely helps because your options are a lot better than if you had, you know, just a small yard in the front and a small yard in the back. You know, you wanted to keep it close by, your options are definitely limited. So I talked about, let's just use, let me grab a box here. All right, so here's this one's a plastic, you know, just an ammo box. But let's pretend this is what we wanted to bury. You know, we made it weatherproof. We, in the video that I showed, or that I didn't show, but I'm talking about, I basically shrink wrap with food saver kind of deal, sucks all the air out, keeps all the moisture out. You can do firearms or whatever the case is. But I showed ammunition, and I showed a pistol, an AR pistol. It fit in the container. It was a large ammo container. But for now, we'll just use this as an example. So ways that they say, and what's kind of cool about it is a lot of people on there also commented about better ways to do it or different ways to do it, like PVC pipes. You know, something that's a little more weather resistant is definitely a better than, not this one, but a metal GI can. They will last a long time if you set it up right with you know, good rubber coating all the way around, making sure you got good seals as well. And you can store stuff there for many years and not have to worry about it. But for today, some of the things to think about is when you bury something, when you bury it where basically depending on what they're using, but we'll consider it a metal detector for now. If you have a base that's narrower this way, this is the ground up here, it's less likely that they're going to be able to pick up on it than per se if you had more volume set up where it's, you know, coming down on a larger object. But for the sake of that video, I basically, the box that I had was more along this way, so you bury it like this. And then you had you know, so say this is in the ground 4 feet, you got dirt to here, and then we started burying screws. So if you bury screws, and I kind of showed in the video a little bit better, But it's not that you just put a big pound of screws right over the object. They're like, okay, well, when you find the screws, they know that they found the honey hole, right? Where your stash is or your cache. And that's not what I was getting at. What I was getting at is, first off, you don't want to throw a bunch of screws, especially ones that'll pop tires. Maybe your lawnmower or your kid's quads or whatever the case is. So you don't want to just scatter screws throughout the area. But what you want to do is scatter metal objects. And like the best part is you could basically use an item like a screwdriver, right? And go down 4 inches and then just kind of throw that screw so it's pointed down or whatever the case is. So you don't have a bunch of screws laying around. But it's hoping to deter the normal guy that's looking for stuff, right? So if it's not on, say it's, you have a large piece of property or it goes into like the natural reserves or whatever the case is, you got a guy he's out just having fun, say, and he's going to pick it up. Well, after he picks up and he's getting the same beep or the same reading, and he keeps coming up with a wood screw, or these were good. Basically a screw like this, and he's like, you know what, I'm out of this area. I'm tired of picking up these screws. And I'm saying, put quite a few around the area, but continue on with that. So by the time he gets to the honey hole, I call it the honey hole, he's going to be discouraged. He's tired of or he or she's tired of picking up the same screw. But so bury this or whatever down in the ground as far as you can, especially if you can build a sleeve for it, like in a plastic kind of deal. And then from there, more soil, and then topsoil, put a few more screws above it, right below the surface of the ground. And it's hoping by the time they get to the honey hole, they're going to be so pissed off and discouraged about finding screws, and you can throw a couple pennies or whatever the case is in there. But it's pretty bad. So let me get out here. Let's see, we got Red October, It Ain't Just Paint, Fuzz Fork 8. Let me scroll up. Big Racer, let's see. Buy, not bury, my goodness. You definitely want to buy, but the thing is I have a pretty decent collection of firearms, and there's ones that I shoot all the time, and there's ones that I haven't shot in, well, some of them 5-10 years. These 80%ers, having some 80%ers all done up and ready to go. Things like that. Some extra ammo. Definitely a good thing. We got Brian saying that with the 80%. Let's see. Had a great uncle who didn't believe in banks. Most of his money was buried in the backyard. Yeah, and a lot of people are like that. I was talking to who was I talking to? Bald and Curious the other day, and he was talking about where he came from. Saw whatever the hell he's called, somewhere over there. Due to the fact that they had so many wars back in the day, a lot of the construction guys would find guns, that were basically re-drywalled back into their house as their hiding place for their ammo and pistols and rifles. So, people do like to hide stuff. I mean, back in the day, it's nice to know where it is. I mean, if you die today and you're the only one that knows about it, maybe not such a good plan, but if you have 20 of something, why not bury a couple? So we got my safe is fireproof. Yeah, fireproof is a word. When you put the word proof on the end of it, and I know Brian's probably kidding, but there's really no such thing as fireproof. There's fire resistant. I mean, even the jackets that we wear when we go into fire don't catch on fire, but they're not fireproof. If we're there long enough and there's enough heat, it turns to charcoal and goes away just as easy. Most safes are rated for a certain amount of heat for a certain amount of time. So, you know, the better one you buy will sit in a hotter fire longer. Let's see. Am I safest fireproof? Got already read that. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Great point. You know, that old saying that everybody says, and I'm sure you heard it a million times, is a great example of history proving itself over and over. Doesn't matter what it is, right? But don't put your eggs in one basket. Good point. Let's see. Salts wants you to have background checks on ammo you buy. Yeah, so something that I sent over some information to Coda Boy, because I don't like getting into the whole political thing. But North Carolina, there is a sheriff, and I believe it's in Asheville, and he said some nasty stuff about Second Amendment gun owners. So hopefully he doesn't get voted in, but I'll leave that political junk up to Coda Boy to spread the word. So we got, let's see, throw pellets all over the ground, deter metal detectors. Pellets. Yeah, pellets, anything like that. You know, I got tons of BBs and pellets. You know, here's pellets and BBs right here. And I got tons of this stuff. I want the kids to go out and shoot, so I give them BBs and pellets, and when they want to shoot, have at it. Have fun. It's good for learning accuracy. So let's see. They'll get pissy when all they keep finding is steel pellets everywhere. So true. See, and that's the good part, is if you can deter them. Now, I know there's these sonars that they run over the thing, but the deeper you go, depending on how you have it set up in the ground, right? So you have a narrower window as it's scanning down, will definitely help. Now, if they're going to start using that kind of technology to try to find your stuff, more than likely they will if they know where it is. You know, you can search the woods and you may never come up with anything because there might not be anything over there. It might be somewhere else. Hide this stuff in the bottom of a septic tank. Make them earn it. Captain Shark, you are not lying. That would suck. I'm never burying anything. I might as well dig my own grave if I'm letting liberty fall to the wayside. See, and I don't know if you saw the beginning of this. I'm pretty sure you did. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying at all. I got stuff everywhere, man. The stuff's everywhere. Now, if you only own a few, then yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. But I'm 46 years old. I've been collecting ever since I could buy a firearm at the age of 18. And I got enough. Let's see. So I hope you're understanding that it ain't just paint. I hope that makes sense. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. I'm on the same page as you, but I'm at the point where I have the ability to have a cache of extra stuff if needed. Will you want to go near it yourself after? I don't know if he's talking about the septic tank one or you could definitely go check on your stuff. I mean, if you know where it is. Some of the ways that people do it is you utilize, maybe you have a couple trees that are, you know, something. It can be rocks, it can be trees, a landmark basically. And you could have a couple landmarks and run basically in between the two, and it'll get you in the zone. Maybe you have a crazy thing where you remember steps and you do all that kind of stuff. Me, on the other hand, I don't have the ability to remember stuff like that, so I need to keep it simple. I won't be making a pirate's map or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, Brian J says, I don't think you can go deep enough to hide it from the government. And basically, I don't think you could either. The things they're going to know you have or what you have registered, you know, like somebody said on there, you could have some 80% ARs, have a couple of those, you know, that you're farming, got them buried or whatever the case is. But Let's see. Yeah, Brian J. He's working on getting a pellet gun. I tell you what, in my truck, I keep a pellet gun just at the bottom. I mean, in the state I'm in now, this was when I was in California. So I'd keep a pellet gun in there just in case I broke down in the desert or something. I could shoot a rabbit and have something to eat, or whatever the case is. There, you know, a pellet gun's legal in California. Now that I'm in North Carolina, a lot of people carry some type of truck gun, even like a, you know, an AR pistol style with the brace. It stays legal because it's a pistol. It's considered part of your concealed carry permit because it's not a rifle. I mean, and people carry rifles as well. I think you just have to have it unloaded, but all that stuff's going to dictate what state you're in. Let's see, we got ground penetrating radar, the LiDAR, is some fancy equipment. They have that. I bet they're armed to the teeth. Yeah, I mean, if you're going up against that, then yeah, that's what you're going to be dealing with. This is more in the case of all of a sudden you have a, you know, a group of 20 people that are at your house when you come back from vacation and you can't get to anything. So the only thing you would have to rely on is the stuff that you brought with you, had in your car, or whatever the case is. Yeah, you can carry a pellet gun in California, barely. Let's see. It will be a lot like Afghanistan if they try to disarm Americans. I will say you're going to see, hopefully this never obviously happens, but if they did ever get that crazy where they thought they could pull that off, I think a lot of Americans are definitely going to not stand for that shit. And that's kind of the point. What was his name? Was talking about. It ain't just paint. He's basically saying, you know, letting liberty fall to the wayside. And that, again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying have an extra backup plan. Keep baseball batting cages around the perimeter. LOL, just load it. Exploding baseballs. They have time. Land Run says they won't have time to use GPR or LiDAR because they will be getting hunted. We can now use pellet gun, BB guns in our small city. They changed the ordinance recently. Before you couldn't use them? Hey, Red October. Yeah. It's tough because you try to think like, okay, at what point is enough, right? And the point is until everybody agrees is when the point is. Because you can't be the one dumbass running around thinking you're helping with liberty when you're the only guy doing it. It doesn't, you know, you basically become hunted and the psychopath that only makes our gun laws worse. So, all right, so let's check out a few pistols here. Figured I had some fun. But yeah, I wanted to definitely comment on that or re-comment on the video that everybody keeps talking about. So let me flip the camera over here. I missed the beginning, but I'm not arguing with you, just adding my 2 cents. And I get what you're saying, brother. Okay. So yeah, and that's the thing. There was a lot of and they must be doing a search or something because most of these guys I've never heard of. You know, and there was a lot of them that was a lot of good pluses, you know, a lot of great ideas, 6, blah, 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 like PVC. So there's a lot of good information within the comments of ways to do it, better ways to do it than a metal container. I just had a bunch of those around, so I had some fun. And I will put the link to the video below. But I'm like, man, these guys aren't getting it. They're not getting what I'm saying. Let's see. So you got a Hot Sauce 45 ACP put. This was a year ago. So this is an older comment. Have them, let's see, don't bury anything. This is when you use them. If they want them, they can have them when we use the bullets on them one at a time. So there's a lot of consensus with that. You know, nobody wants their guns to be taken away. And I fully agree and respect those comments. That's why I was like, man, you guys aren't getting it. Like, I'm definitely for having nobody take our firearms away. So I'm going to get the camera ready. I'm going to show you guys some old pistols that you may or may not have seen, because I don't shoot them. I got the ones I go out and I shoot all the time. I have my carry gun that I carry. But other than that, these ones are just sitting here. And that's like, hey, Miss Scab Ugly. Hopefully your husband's doing well after his car wreck. Thank God he's all right. So appreciate that. Car looked horrible. Let me do a couple comments here, and then I got to flip this thing over. Let me flip that over so you guys don't have to look at my ugly ass mug. Why is this even playing? I know you're in here somewhere. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Built-in camera. So we got, let me get this thing all situated. Get these cords out of the way. Put this thing in the right spot. That's tougher than you guys think. All right, so first I'm going to show you guys my first semi-auto pistol I ever purchased. And you'll know it's old because I used to live in California, and look at that. 13 rounds this will hold. So I am going to see how many of you guys are on your game when it comes to pistols. What pistol is that, first off? Now, this is going to be a pistol that you will probably not have ever heard of. You may have, depending on Hilltop Outdoors. How you doing? But this is not your normal, everyday gun you're going to hear people talking about. It's in 9mm Parabellum. It is made by a company that makes lots of different stuff that you would not assume would be firearms related. It is not a Star. Hard Target, how you doing? I'm 5 minutes behind because I'm working. Well, that's a bummer, buddy. Be glad we got a job, though. Be glad we have a job. 13, yeah, this was before they did the 10-round ban BS junk. And actually, I will show you later. All right, so some of the differences, I'll show the other side. I don't think it's close enough for you guys can zoom in to see the name of it. They make cars. Oh, we got one. Daewoo Hilltop Outdoors has hit the money. Hit the money. Let's see. All right, so I'll try to get you guys, if I can put the damn thing on the camera here. This was a nice pistol. I paid probably like $200 for this thing or something. I don't know. It was early 90s. And I thought it was quite a gun for the price at the time. I think it might even have been before the Glocks had come out. No, I think it was right when the Glocks had come out, but woo, what did I win? You won a vacation to San Diego. Just kidding. But what you'll see on it is it's ambidextrous when it comes to the safety. It's got a steel all construction except for the base pad. But 13 rounds, that's so basically 13 plus 1. Some of the things that I thought was cool about this gun, well, first off, this is was originally made in Korea. Okay, and then they actually made them in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, through First Shot Incorporated. But this has a triple action. I'm trying to read your guys' comments at the same time. So you got, I got a safety on. So start over. So you got double action, single action, and then you have where you cock the hammer back, you push it forward, and the spring assembly changes the weight of stuff. So when you barely lightly touch this, it cocks the hammer back, like if you were going to carry it cocked and locked. So it takes out all the pre-travel of that, right? And it basically just sets it there, and then you push it forward. Is that gun still legal in California? There, I don't even think there's a gun that's legal in California. So as you pull the trigger, it automatically cocks it back. I mean, it's really light right here, and then you have the normal single action where the hammer's already pulled back, and it's actually a hair lighter than that. At least it feels like it. So that was one cool thing I thought. Now this number, I'm at number 5,200 and something. So, I mean, I know the number, but I didn't want to tell you. So 5,000 of these were only made when I made this. So this, I believe to be, was, at least this design, the whole design of this was Korea's duty weapon back in the day, or maybe even still now. I'm sure, you know, there's advancements and upgrades, even if they were using the same one. This thing's pretty damn old. So, but it's got some grip, traction, it's not stippling, but it's got some in the back. It's got some here on the front. It's got kind of a squared off, less round, more flat right here. Some people like to, you know, put their finger around it like that. But it's a pretty cool shooter. The mags have been doing good. I mean, I have 2 of them for this. They're pretty darn old, but the springs work fine. The base pads, I don't know if I'd want to keep dropping it on the like concrete ground, because it just looks like some kind of some cheap plastic. I don't know who originally makes these, but the slide stop isn't ambidextrous, so it's only on the one side. But it's just a cool little pistol. Pretty neat. But yeah, Daewoo. I think they make cars. They make like TVs and some other crap. I don't know what else they make. So we got a Sears Craftsman lifetime warranty Zenith. Instead of trying to hide your weapon, stand up and use it while you can. You bought them to use. Don't be throwing your money away. Fuzz Fork. I got plenty of guns around here, Fuzz Fork. Don't you worry about me. I got ones that are ready to go. Old Fuzz Fork. Let's see. So Wonder 9 era. Let's see. Sorry, can't stay. Bye, Miss Scab. Ugly. Keep up the great videos. I haven't made a great video since I started YouTube. What are you talking about? Is that gun still legal in California? Probably not. All right, moving on to the next one. There's been a lot of hype about the old Shield. So I want to show you guys a Shield. This was a carry gun for a while. Still a great gun. They have the newer version, the 2.0. Never had problems with this one. This one's, I think, California compliant. Nope, that'll fire without the, this was on the law enforcement side. This one I bought, well, actually, most of the guns I bought were from California. But the 2.0, I don't know what the differences are. I know they did some upgrades. This one's got the +8 on it. It's a longer mag. Great gun, nice and thin, easy to carry. Good shooter. This one's a 9mm. They got them in 40 and 45 now as well. Maybe even another caliber. I'm not sure if they make one in a 380 or not. This one has the safety on it. There is an option to not have that. I haven't had this be a problem. I don't carry guns with it on safe, because as long as you don't touch that, you should be fine. But was a great gun. This was one on my concealed carry permit when I was in California. And then I bought the Glock 43, and I enjoyed that one a little more. Yeah, the 2.0 costs more, and I don't know what they did. The trigger on this, I don't have one near me, but the M&P, what is it considered? What the heck's the name of it? I got one. I just don't shoot it much. Whatever, the full-size frame one. Maybe you guys can help me out. The full-size M&P, this trigger is actually a little bit better. Make sure it's clear. The reset was pretty good. But on the full size, which hopefully one of you guys will put out there, the trigger seemed more squishier than this. This has a hinge trigger. That's what makes it like the safety, kind of how they kind of copied Glock a little bit, but did a hinge trigger. Where this one is it doesn't hinge in the middle, but it has the center point. I'm sure you guys have seen the Glock scrap. But definitely a good carry pistol right there. One of the nicest holsters I've ever had a chance to own, which I still own, I don't know where it is the Garrett Industries holster. Makes a leather-wrapped Kydex holster. I don't know how they do such a good job on the thin layer of leather that they attach to the polymer or the Kydex, but it is an outstanding holster. I have a video out on that that's old, but and then it's neoprene leather wrapped on the one side, so it's definitely a hybrid holster, and it is comfortable. So take a look at that if you're looking for any holster. That's another company to take a look at. My shield is on my CCW permit in Cali also. Not many choices. Yeah, and for the folks that live in California, every month basically a little bit more gets chipped off of what you can have on the roster. The roster gets smaller. So when like the 2.0, if they didn't do the testing, if they didn't spend the money, like if Shield or M&P didn't want to spend the money to get this retested to be compliant for California, they just said, hell will California say? That new gun would be off the roster, even if they only changed, the metal of this piece right here, or just changed a couple little things. Now it would no longer be on the roster. And that's unfortunate for everyone living in California, because you're less likely to find anything you like because everything's becoming off roster because the companies don't want to spend the money for one state to get it in compliance. Here's a quick little video, or a quick one on the first Glock I ever bought. I think this is my first one. So you're looking at a Gen 1. It's the Model 22 and 40 Smith & Wesson. And I think this was my first one. Every one of these guns you see, for the most part, has some type of grip tape on it. If I was concealing carrying it, you can see how on this side on my body, touching my body, I didn't have any. So this obviously was not a carry gun. This was more for just having a good grip. So this is an old gun. 844 is the number. But this I bought right when they came out with it. Good gun. I actually was messing with this one today. I put a 9mm barrel in it. I didn't shoot it, but I made sure it fit and everything. Same in Massachusetts, has to be submitted to Attorney General's approval, drop testing and loaded indicator. Yeah, see, so Gil over at Hard Target, he's right on the money with that. There's a lot of expense for a company to change something, and that's the reason why you like the Glock Gen 1, 2, and 3 are good, but I think 4 and 5 and obviously the X are not approved in California unless you're a law enforcement officer. Then you can get some of the newer toys out there. Okay, so this one I know someone on there here, I'm looking at him right now, is going to like this gun. All right, what's this gun? Who's the first one? What is that thing? What kind of contraption is that? So in Massachusetts, Glocks are Leo only because they are actually told mass to stuff it. Got it. Hilltop, I'm thinking, yeah, so basically Glock told Massachusetts, California, Pakistan, because they're not going to spend the money and the energy. When you're making that many guns or selling that many guns and you have one or a few states that can't comply, they don't care. They got the contracts. They got the, with different law enforcement agencies. They got all the, like say the Glock fanboys and girls that are living in different states that can. There it is, the VP9. This gun was purchased. I let my son pick out the pistol. So if you take these two, right? At the time, I was a big fan. Still love the Glock. Don't get me wrong, but this was the style of gun I preferred shooting. But I told my son, okay. So he started shooting some competitions with me, and at the time, he was only 13. And his fingers, his thumb, he couldn't reach over and hit the button. Even on this Gen 1, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Reach over, and have enough force to hit the mag release. So when we ended up picking this thing up, the mag release is here on these little paddles. I'm sure there's a name for it. But I don't know what it's called. But it's basically the mag release. It is ambidextrous. This gun was obviously unloaded. But this right here costs a little bit more than a stock Glock. But I gotta say, for the amount of money, if I turn it this way, you guys will be able to see it a little better if I can get it in the camera. But this is probably the best, most comfortable grip I've had on any pistol I own. The ergonomics are phenomenal. The side plates come off on both sides. The back strap comes out, and right now it's set up thin and thin, or small, small, and small, because it's made for my son. But I couldn't get, I shoot this gun better than a stock Glock. I've done a bunch of testing on it. The trigger is phenomenal for a stock gun. I guess I can show you that. All right, so here's a reset. And it's a little long compared to like a competition gun, but it's very crisp. Very, very crisp. So he picked this out. It's got the ability to put lights on it, whatever you want to put down here with the rail. It's got front and rear serrations for pulling the thing back. It does have like a chamber indicator, or basically it's just to show you that it's cocked and ready to shoot. There's an indicator here and a little red dot. So I can show you. When you pull the trigger, it goes in, so you can make it so you can't see it, basically. So it's just showing that it's cocked. It doesn't show you that it's loaded. It just shows you that it's cocked. But it does have ambidextrous slide release or slide stop, depending on your train of thought, and ambidextrous mag release. But man, what a great shooting gun. The weight is nice. The capacity is bitching. It's 15 rounds plus one. Then probably make a plus two or whatever you wanted. It's a really good feeling gun. The only problem is I wanted him to steer clear of this gun because every pistol we own has a mag release, like I wouldn't say normal, but a standard pistol. So one of the concerns is when he's shooting and he goes to reload, he has to put his finger right here. which isn't a big deal, you know, through training. And you know, I can do it pretty fast if I sat here and got used to the gun. But one of the concerns was, it looks like, so when he's transitioning over from this stage to this stage, and he drops the mag on the ground, he's transitioning over, it just looks like your finger's in the trigger. It's not officially in the trigger, but as an RO, you know, and you're getting just glimpses of people's fingers and you're trying to make sure they're like this, it kind of makes it a little trickier. Trying to use your thumb here, it seems like it's farther reach than if I just had to push a button here. But the HK VP9 is one awesome unit. I know we got some people. They got the red line on the ejector sticks out when loaded for an indicator. All right, let's get a fake round here. Let's just put a shell in here. Red line, what are you talking about? All right, that's an empty shell casing, so don't get all crazy. Oh, right there maybe? So there is a little bit of something. So what he's saying is that. So when it's out, okay, so it's very slight, but you can see it. What the hell's texting me now? So hard target, you are spot on the money. I'm gonna throw a live round in here. Don't worry, guys. You're not gonna. Actually, I'm gonna. Never mind. I'll use some snappies, some snap caps. There you go. Keep you guys from getting all scared. All right, snap cap. And we're gonna look right here. Right now, you can see a tiny bit of red, but it's hidden. Everything's flat. The ejector. Did it? I don't know. It still seems the same to me. All right. You guys see any difference? I don't know. It doesn't come out far enough to really show anything. Let's see if I can feel it. If I was in the dark and I wanted to know if this thing was loaded. On the top of the ejector, legal enough for Massachusetts. Oh, got it. So it's just their way of showing a little bit of something, it sounds like. Tell me if I'm wrong there, Mr. Gill. Let's see. The red line on the ejector sticks out when loaded for an indicator. On the top of the ejector, legal enough for Massachusetts. Top of the ejector. All right, and then again, you have this, knowing that it's cocked. See if I can zoom in here. You can see the red a little bit. I'm gonna pull the trigger, and it goes back in. One thing I didn't talk about was you got these little wings here that come off. I think they can come out. Yeah, they come off. But it's, if you're gonna rack the slide, as you're grabbing it back for like it's got just a little more extra grab. So you got the normal stuff here, and then you can you can see where my hand captures both ends of that. So that's kind of a cool deal, especially if it's wet or bloody. Say you are, it'd be a little bit easier to rack the slide. Other than that, takedown's pretty much the same as everything else. But that is a cool gun. That is definitely. I wish they made it. I wish they made this gun with the regular mag release button. It's faint but legit. Yeah, so if it passes, that's all that matters for them. But the ambidextrous safeties, the ambidextrous mag release, slide release, everything's. This is definitely You know, and it's nice and easy. It's got good leverage here, so it's easy to get that slide to move forward. Some guns, man, you're sitting there trying so hard and you can't get it. Yeah, this one's nice and easy. Let's try this one. See, like this one's a lot of energy. It does it, but if your hands are wet, it could be a lot more difficult. Here's a Glock. That one's fairly simple. This gun's old and worn in, though. Very, very worn in. But this one, definitely love that gun right there. All right. Probably one of my, I wouldn't say my favorite 22 plinking pistol, because I've had this one forever. The Browning Buckmark, and you'll see it's in a bag. I squirt it down, make sure that that thing stays well lubricated, just because of the shitty weather we have around here. But the Browning Buckmark, this is a very old pistol I've had for a long time. Super accurate pistol, but along with that comes the competition of these two. And you're going to have people that just truly love the Browning and truly love the Ruger. Does one shoot better than the other? I have no idea. I know that I can shoot really good with this pistol, and I can shoot okay with this pistol. This pistol's not as heavy. It's not as set up as this one for shooting target pistols. But what are your guys' favorites? I know a lot of people love the Ruger 1022, and a lot of people love the Ruger Mark series 1 through 4. This is number 4. This one's the light version. It does have the suppressor capable on the end here. I threw on a cheap Sightmark red dot sight that's not very good. I had a better sight, which is right here, but I could not get the damn thing. This is a Burris, the fast fire, and this thing looks really cool with just that on there. But I couldn't crank it enough to get the right, to make it accurate. The elevation was off, so I had to go to this one, which sucks. Uncle Dan, get on over and check out Uncle Dan. But this is an enjoyable pistol. It's lightweight. Would love to someday soon get a suppressor for this thing. I think this would just make the ultimate freaking rodent eradicator with a nice little can on it. And I think you could have a lot of fun with this pistol for sure. So one day soon, hopefully, I can get me a suppressor for it. I'm looking at the Sparrow. So you got nice mags. When this thing had a recall, I sent it back in, and they actually sent me an extra mag with it, which was really cool. Inside Freedom, how you doing, buddy? Love this pistol though. But what's nice about the Mark IV over the 3.2 and the 1 is this magic little thing right here called the takedown. Look at that. So the other ones are great pistols, but it was a pain in the ass to take them down and clean them. So right here on the back, you just hit the button. This rotates here, and that comes off. The bolt comes out, and you can get to cleaning. I mean, just genius setup. And to put it back, you put it back in the hinge here, and you line that bolt up there, and now you're ready to go shoot again. So that is cool. One thing that sucks about this, it doesn't really suck, but this will not fire without a mag in it. So like for, not that I shoot competitions with this thing, but most of the time you take the mag out and then you pull the trigger, it basically dry fires, and then you would holster it. So I used to doing that. So when I get to this gun, you can't, toggle back and fire the trigger. So it's kind of a learning curve on that deal. This one has been upgraded after the recall, and if you guys have these and it hasn't been recalled yet, you will notice that the dots have an actual S in it, and the red dot if it doesn't have the S in it, it hasn't been gone through and recalled. So we got Shooting with Uncle Dan. He did a video for Land Run 89, and it's full of comments and thumbs up. 0 views. They may pull my plug. Yep, you never know. Uncle Dan's talking about stuff. All right, I'm going to show you guys the only wheel gun I have in my entire collection, because I don't know why that is. So this one right here is my only revolver that I have. This was passed down to me through my mom when she passed away. And this is from J.C. Higgins. Some of you guys out there may or may not have heard of J.C. Higgins, but this was probably, let's see, we got a 2-inch barrel, looks like. And this is a J.C. Higgins 583 881. This is chambered in 22 long rifle, and it holds a shit ton here. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rounds of 22 long rifle. 22 caliber, model 88. What do you guys think of that? Cool little pistol, huh? Yeah, this is one my mom had around. And this was her little carry gun for the house. I don't know what handle shape. I don't know anything about revolvers. I lack. It does have decent sights though. I can get it on screen. So there is actually a rear sight. I know a lot of them are just kind of a little nick from a, it's got a front sight here, all steel. It's got little serrations, keep the shine off. But that's it. That's my big revolver. I know some of you guys carry some big stuff. I think one of these days I might, just to have one. You got Hilltop Outdoors, has an old Rossi 38. That was his grandpa's. So that's kind of cool. I like having stuff that's been passed down. And that's the reason why, like, this is in the oil bag. Because I want my kids to have some, well, I want them to have, obviously, my whole collection, but when I die. But, you know, well taken care of, pretty good, decent stuff. No, what the hell? YouTube app is cracked up too. It strips my title and information all the time lately. Yeah, I was talking to X-String, and he was doing the review on those rifle bags, and he said that he had to change it. And I don't know if this is true or not, but since one of you guys chimed out there, he had to name it like 5 times before it would, or he tried to download it 5 times, and it said it wouldn't work. He renamed it something else, and it had worked. Now, don't think that's a big conspiracy. It may have just been the internet. An old Uncle Dan's here. I'll bring out the old Glock. The old Glocks for him. All right. This gun I used to shoot a lot of. This is one of my competition guns. And I have not shot this thing in months. A good 6 months. Which is pretty amazing, because I used to shoot that all the time. So I haven't shot competitively with this gun in over 6 months. I've been working on staying on one platform because switching back and forth is ruining my shooting. But this is an original Glock 24. This is the long slide. They make the 35s and the 34s. This is still longer than any of those. This is this generation, which was the original first generation of, I'm not saying Gen 1, I don't know, but this was when they first came out with the long slide. That gun came ported. Actually, I don't even know where the barrel's at. The problem is I couldn't shoot this with a ported barrel, so I had to buy a Briley barrel because of the classification that I was shooting in. I didn't want to go to open. I will say one thing about the porting one is originally when the regular Glock sight was on here, now I got a True Glow sight, it would instantly make that, which would be like this dot, the normal stock Glock dot, instantly black. Like after like first mag, the whole sight was black. So you couldn't, it was like, this is bullshit. So this gun I've had for a long, long time. Like the late 80s or 90s. I mean, I bought this, or whenever they came out. I can't remember exactly. But I was shooting IPSC, and this was my pistol of choice. I did buy it in 40. It's a 40 Smith & Wesson. You know, you can turn any 40 basically into a 9mm if you want. This is the old original magwell that I had purchased. I have no idea where it came from. There's a pyramid trigger from Glock. Extended mag release. It's got a bunch of titanium. Got a bunch of titanium crap in here. You know, you'll see the gold nitrite, plungers, striker firing pin, whatever you want to call it. Upgraded this and that. Pretty much this gun's been upgraded anyway in every way it can. Other than that, that's about it. Yeah, this number here is only 291. It has some letters, but it's 291, and it's US. US or something. Yeah, US. So I don't know how old that gun is. This was the newer version. This one I was using for IDPA. This one I bought not too long ago. This is a Gen 4. This is a Gen 4, but I ground down all the finger grooves, added stippling, or got rid of all the stock stippling with the razor, and then smoothed this all out and added skater tape to it because it's not supposed to be pretty. It does have a pyramid trigger on it. Yes, 40, of course. This is also 40. Extended, and here's the differences. This one's square because this is an older version. Gen 4, it has this kind of a teardrop version of the slide release, or mag release, I mean. You got another pyramid trigger. Nice triggers. Nice lightweight trigger. Short reset. Great triggers. You can do some tuning with them, different stuff. This one is even better. It's nice and smooth and lightweight. I did get crazy and do some skater tape. Isyour6covered. Had some fun with that. Got a little pinstripe in the back. You can see it's worn. All that dirt there is probably skin from my hand from grabbing it. Did run it in here as well, just to kind of what I thought would make it cool. But this is a great pistol. Did have to do some changing here with this magwell to the basically when you buy these, the Terran Tactical +5s, +4s actually with 40. They will not fit in there unless you grind that out. So I did have some malfunctions on one competition. I went to seat the mag, and it basically pushed the button off. This is not this mag, but a different one. And all the bullets squirted out the bottom. But that is, these I'm keeping around because I'm hoping to get a little pistol carbine. I want to try to shoot pistol carbine class. Sorry. So I'm keeping these around because I can use them. Kind of expensive, but it's nice to have the extra rounds. So you got 15 plus 4, so I think it's 19 rounds. It's got the extended slide release, slide lock. You see the little notch on there. This one does not. Yeah, it does, but it has a little piece of grip tape on there as well. But it sure makes it nice when, you know, you just barely touch it. Just almost basically just sliding your thumb down. And same with this one pretty much. So you can get back in it, back at it. Blue, I figured I was going to make this one blue and black. So other than that, that's it. This is, who makes this barrel? I can't remember. This is an upgraded barrel. A little more accuracy. All the same internals. The nitrite, this, nitrate coated that, blah, blah, blah. You ever see anyone shoot comp with a Glock 19? I do every once in a while. I have, oh, actually X-Ring, if he doesn't have his stuff, he'll shoot his carry gun. And it's, I tell you what, the guy, it doesn't matter what he's shooting. He's just fast and he's accurate. But yeah, the 9mm carbines, I definitely want to get one. Those base pads will work on the 9 and the 40. So when I switch over to 9, definitely be able to use those, which will be nice. Because I've been going, man, I should sell these. I really want to get rid of these because they're just sitting here. Somebody could use them. Problem is like this one, the grip, you know, the finger grooves are ground off, and most people don't like the finger grooves, so it's already done. But then at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know if anybody'd buy this because, you know, it's been messed with, right? But it's already got the mag wall, the trigger. It's already got the grip tape on it. It's got the extended this and this and that and this and all that bullshit and barrel and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I don't know if anybody would, you know, besides stealing it from me by, you know, paying $500. But there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money invested in there. The trigger kit, it was like 200 something bucks alone. Yeah, he could throw rocks and win. Yeah, he could. How much? I don't know. I'd be willing to sell these for a decent price for both of you, or both. I'm not trying to make money on it, but I don't want to lose a bunch of money either. Shooting with Uncle Dan. But these are great shooters. But these are in 40. A lot of people don't like shooting 40. But that's the reason why I got this. Options. Now I can shoot 9mm. It's a good little, like, shit hits the fan kind of thing. All right, so you just go like this. You go like this. Throw this in here. Get your ass in there. And change the mags to the 9mm mags. And shazam. Now you have a long slide 9mm. To be the 34. The Gen 3, this is a Gen 4, but it'd be the Glock 34 now because it shoots 9mm. 9mm. And oh, shit, I forgot the best part of this thing. Check out these sights. Let's see if I can get in there. This is the real nice fiber, the very slim line race fiber. It's in green, but it's, what I'm trying to say is it's very narrow. You got the flat black in the back. This thing's set up for competition if you guys are looking to shoot competition. There's nothing you need here but a mag well, or a mag holder and some mags. All right, let's start the auction. Ding, ding, ding. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's something. If you guys are interested, PM me and I'll come. I'll figure out what I'd be willing to sell it for. And I got a lot of shit that can come with it too. Got the 9mm barrel, which I really don't want to sell because I can put it in this Glock 22, and then I could turn that into a 9mm. But who knows? Got a shield for sale. Got a Daewoo for sale. So, what do you want to buy? I got everything you want. Bunch of springs. Here's the stock triggers. So on and so forth. What's this? Some trigger springs. Yeah, it is. The sights are bitching. Like, I'm pointing it at you. I'm sorry, but it's not loaded. But look how thin that is. Actually, let me grab it. Yeah, I'm gonna get a strike. What am I gonna get a strike for? How to take it apart or whatever? This guy's in packs, and I don't care. 1.1. Let's see, we're at 15, 16. 1.1. So 1.16. That's the metal part of it. So it's a nice thin front sight. Hey Brian, how you doing? Yeah, we're just screwing off, having fun, talking about guns. We are not assembling and disassembling of guns because that would be highly discouraged among the YouTube family. Oh, the selling of guns. Yeah, these guns aren't for sale. Other than that, anybody got any questions? Because I'm out of words. I'm out of words. Wish we could find a constitutionally friendly platform to make videos. Hey, Phil. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers trying to figure that out right now. I'm kind of waiting to see what they do. They got, I think they're talking about like Pornhub or some shit. And they're talking about Twitter. And they're talking about Vimeo or something. I don't know. We'll see. I tried doing the whole thing where we jumped on VidMe. I think that's what it's called. VidMe, and then they closed down. And we had a lot of people moved over. We had a lot of videos over there. And then they just basically said that they, I bet you the freaking, I bet you YouTube bought them out. That's just a room, not a rumor. I'm just saying. That's what it seems like to me. Just eat away the competition, and then they can't. And then they can't do anything. Y'all have a good one, Uncle Dan. So I think I'm done. Unless you got some Patreon. Man, I don't want to ask people for money. I guess if you did $1 just so people could watch your videos, maybe. I don't know. Would anybody be willing to pay $1? I'm not so much here for that. I'm here just to have fun with you guys. Maybe you could even do like 10 cents a month or something. I wonder if you can make it less than $1 a month. You do the whole year for $1. That might work. Now, what does that give you on Patreon? Do you get to do content that would normally be banned? I guess you guys need to see something, huh? There you go. Let's do this one. Here's Coda Boy's timer he left in my bag. I put KB32 on there so I wouldn't screw it up with mine. But yeah, the last time we shot at the farm, somehow that got in his bag. I left a mag, $135 mag at Pop's house. And that is House's farm. So that's it, you guys. If you thought the video was good, give it a thumbs up. If you thought the video sucked, give it a thumbs up. And other than that, that's about it. So as Uncle Dan says, 6 out. And then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to hit the button. Take care, you guys. Appreciate it. Might get out of here if I can figure out how the hell to. There we go. All right, you guys. I really appreciate it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Where the hell's the camera? Thumbs up. Okay, see you guys on the next one. Thanks again, you guys. Especially you guys that I've never seen before. Come on over and subscribe. And we'll have, bad content and horrible videos. Come check them out. See you guys.